the bars and fill a sportsman's dreams. Enjoy what nature holds for us, her bounty never ends. Getting back to basics with the practical sportsman. It's always an adventure, no matter where we go. From a favorite hunting spot to the hottest fishing pole. Outdoor life we all can share with family and friends. We'll do it all together with a practical sportsman. We'll do it all together with a practical sportsman.
Hi there, come on in. It is March 23rd, the year 2000, but a very weird March 23rd. We don't have it like any other March. For example, several years ago, I went fishing towards the end of March off Saugatuck, pier fishing. There was ice stacked up all over the shore. We don't have anything like that now, but I think it's worthwhile to go back and look at a normal Michigan spring. So I'm Fred Trost. You're watching The Practical Sportsman. Stay tuned. If you're looking for beach scenery, it's not the month of March. What you see here, this is actually the Lake Michigan beach line. Right behind me there, that little building, that's the public beach just north of Saugatuck, Douglas. And in the summer, it'll be filled with kids and inner tubes and swimming and people laying here. Now, all this stuff you see piled up, and this goes all along the Great Lakes shorelines, this isn't dirt. This hasn't been moved here by bulldozers. This is snow, ice, and sand that's been piled up from all the ice in the winter and all the winter winds. So that's what we have here. When the sun comes out in April, the snow melts, that'll settle down. This will be Lake Michigan, and the people can enjoy the beach again. In the meantime, a few of us hike down to the piers so we can fish. Now, when I say hike, I'm not kidding here at Saugatuck. They say it's about a mile up the sandy beach to the pier. Seems like 2 miles on the way back. It's close to noontime now. We'll get to hear the reports of the morning's success. Now we got some other fishermen coming down the beach here that look like backpackers, carrying their gear. One guy carrying the rods, the other one a net. I can't see if there's a fish in there or not. Let's find out. Well, that's not a fish in the net. That's bait. What's the deal?
Fred Trost?
Yes, sir. Well, how are you?
Not bad. We're cold.
So you got wax worms and who knows what in there. You're cold?
Yes.
Well, cripes, you got a jacket. You got 8 pairs of clothes on.
I'm still cold.
Still, it's cold out
He's
there.
ugly
huh?
too.
Hey, now that's quite a deal you got. Oh, rod holders on the backpack.
Yeah.
To carry them. So you fished since when? What time?
What, daylight?
Yeah. Oh, daylight? And you got nothing?
3.
Oh, you got 3.
They're in the back.
Oh, they're in the pack. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Okay, and you're very cold.
No, now I'm not.
That walking?
Yeah, this great big old long walk here.
Okay, well,
Fun.
we're gonna head out. There are 2 shifts for pier fishing. The guys who get out before daylight so they can get the choicest spot. But by noon, they're hungry and they head in. It's when the second shift heads out. Okay, thanks a lot.
You guys take care.
Wow, there's a little bit of encouragement here. Now here's a guy, let's find out if he's discouraged.
A little bit.
How come?
Couldn't find him.
Couldn't
How you
find
doing?
him? Good.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, how are you?
All right.
Cold?
It's a little cold out there.
It is?
Wind's starting to pick up.
How long, when did you get out here? What time?
7.
7 a.m.?
Yep.
So you spent a good 5-6 hours already. Well,
I had one bust my line and I didn't bring any other tackle. So I'm heading on back.
well, okay.
Good luck, big friend.
Yeah, thanks. You meet a lot of great people when you get outdoors. I think the reason is that everybody's out here to relax and unwind. If fishermen have a grumpy side, it's not something they bring with them when they go fishing. Now that stuff there that looks like dirt piled up, those are snow drifts. They're floating on ice and covered with beach sand. When we finally got down to the pier, we were greeted with what seemed like a good omen. Some fellows on the north side were netting a salmon or trout of some kind, looked like, about a 10-pounder. Hey, this is encouraging. Huh? What do you think, Maddie? Well, Mother Nature doesn't give fishermen much to choose from in the month of March. It's always colder than it looks, but the sun will be coming out, and one of these days, all this ice and snow will be gone. Isn't this gorgeous? I mean, this is the only time of year you can get out here and look at the beach in this condition. But it is kind of pretty. I tell you, in the winter, can you imagine the wind howling and the snow blowing? But now the fishermen are optimistic. We've got open water here in the river, at least out. We've got a lot of ice flows out there, but see what they're catching. Nothing?
Not much.
Not much.
Not much yet.
Okay. Well, we'll see what we can do. It's kind of fun to be out on a pier with all these people, their nets, seeing people catch fish. So even if you don't catch them, there's some action. Huh?
Couple hits.
Really?
Couple hits.
Oh, so this is the spot.
Well, I don't know about that. I ain't got them in yet.
Yeah, let's see. Looks like these spaces are pretty much taken up. There's a little hole up there. Well, the only reason we're finding a prime fishing spot is because some other anglers just left. Got a spot. Got the last spot right here. Pretty cool. Little holes here to put our fishing rods in and the rod holders. All right, set up, Matty.
Okay.
Got a few spots. I'm going to take my jacket, my outer jacket off. In fact, I'm going to take my inner jacket off, too. Well, we had to shed some clothing. That was a long walk. We were warm. It almost looked like the sun was coming out. The wind had died down, so it was actually pretty comfortable out here. The huge snowdrift that John was standing on to take this shot was actually piled on top of Lake Michigan ice. The sand blew from the beach whenever the wind blew from the east. But as the weather warms up and the fish start getting active, they head towards the warmer water, which is flowing down the river. Every now and then somebody catches a big carp like this one here. Hey, that one's at least 20 pounds, just swimming slowly and leisurely under the ice on the south side of the pier. You can see that this ice is bad. We call this rotten ice. It gets soft like a snow cone, and even if it might be a foot or two thick, you'd sink right through it if you tried to walk on it. Now, under the ice and in the river are carp, suckers, coho and king salmon, brown trout, steelhead trout. You never know what you're going to catch from the pier. Now, we saw somebody who had a fish on. John asked if we could cut the radio off to get all this on tape.
Why don't you guys kill that radio?
Yeah, I can turn it off. Right top button there. Top button.
What do we got?
I have no idea. We haven't been able to get them up.
Probably about a...
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, it's a lake trout.
Well, up to this point, he didn't know what he had hooked. It was a big fish that took his 9-foot rod and bent it right over. Another fellow stood by with a long-handled landing net to hoist that big trophy up onto the pier.
I got about a 10-foot more handle there.
Let that drag set a little bit more. He might try to take off on me. There he goes. There he goes. There he is. There he is.
Get him or you want? I get him.
Come on. Let's get her in there.
Anybody can't get a fish in this thing ought to start fishing.
Here, hold on. Let me tighten your drag a little.
Yeah, there you go.
Would that be practical?
That wouldn't be very practical. There you go.
Well,
Oh, there he is. Come on.
You got a lake trout, I think.
Come on up. Uh-oh.
Shy one, isn't he?
he's going under the pier.
Yep. Yeah, get that.
Big fish, long battle, very tempting to fiddle with the drag on the reel, but that's a dangerous move. Too often an angler over-tightens it, and the fish will run, break the line.
If he's going to come up again or not. There he goes.
Yeah.
There he is. Oh, see how lucky we can be.
How lucky we can be.
How lucky we can be.
Chris Card is the angler's name. He had that drag cranked down about as far as you dare tighten it, but so far, so good.
He's not ready to come in yet. There he goes.
Oh, yeah. It is a lake trout.
Yeah, nice one. Nice one.
Yes, it is. Oh, Chris was quite tickled, not only to be catching a big trout, but to have all of this on camera. The big question was, would he lose this fish?
Here we go. Come on in.
Most fish caught off the pier aren't nearly this big. This would be the biggest of the day, and it was a lake trout. Very uncommon to catch a lake trout off the pier like this in March.
Boy, he's alive.
Yes, he is.
You just don't want to
For a
quit.
lake trout,
You
that's
don't want to
awful.
quit.
You know what? He's been hanging up here with his steelhead.
There we go.
He's real tangled now.
Yes.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Beautiful.
Outstanding.
Beautiful fish.
Well, nobody we talked to out on the pier had ever heard of a lake trout being taken off of this pier at this time of year. It was a total surprise. And this wasn't an average lake trout either. It was a dandy. I mean, it surprised everybody on the pier. For so long, we had been worried that Chris Card was going to lose it, but hey, he didn't. That is his trophy lake trout. Oh, look at that.
Probably a good
Wow.
4-pounder.
And you did good being on camera, not clutching,
Well, hey,
keeping the tension
I've
on.
been waiting for you to come out here, I tell you. I've been waiting, seriously, I've been watching your show for years, and
Yeah.
I've just been waiting to get on it, and I was really surprised when I first seen you up here.
Yeah, what's your name? So the question is, the man was proud, he was smiling, he's tickled to death, he finally caught a fish that he can go home and brag about, right?
Wrong.
He can't go home and brag about it?
You better not take that home. The season was closed. The fish is not legal to possess.
And you know, at the time, none of us around there knew that. And I just happened to pick up a Michigan Fishing Guide, the brand new one that comes out with the licenses. It's all in color and isn't the easiest to understand in here, but we poured over this paragraph, and it does say it appeared to be May 1st through September 2nd, the season is open, which meant in March it's closed.
Correct.
So as I sat there with this, I got this kind of hot and sweaty feeling, almost like I did it, that we have a fish on a stringer down there that the guy's proud of, and I'm the only one with the book. So what should I do?
The right thing is to go down there and tell him he's got to let that fish go. It's illegal to possess it. You're doing the right thing.
You'll be proud of me. I did that.
I'm glad.
Okay. Chris,
I just heard, I gotta let that
I got
baby
some
go.
good news
I
and
gotta
some
let that
bad
baby-
news.
I gotta let that baby go. It's
That's
not till the
right.
first.
that's right.
The guy down here just told me, he says it's the first. That baby, I gotta let that baby
I know,
go.
isn't that too bad?
I gotta let her go.
But you know, we were discussing it then, that there's nobody really that is for sure. that
I
knows
wasn't
sure.
for sure, to be honest with you, neither. And then this guy down here, he goes, it's not till what, May 1st?
May 1st.
May 1st. I gotta let that baby go.
Well, it's a trophy, and you made it on TV.
I didn't know, and the other guy come down here, he just told me too that it was May 1st set.
Well, that's the way she goes. But you know, I tell you,
tell
this this book is a thicker fishing guide than ever, with more regulations than ever. And it isn't just that there's an open season and closed season. It depends on what waters below what parallel. But in the Great Lakes, it's, here we go. Here he is. Chris is doing his thing. Let's go. You know, as I look back on that, Sal, that was one of two things. That was either a sad moment to have to let it go, or it was a close call.
It was a sad moment.
Well, it was a sad moment, but also was it not a close call if a conservation officer had come up before we ran down the pier with the book and told him there would be a lake trout on the stringer there?
Well, sure, he'd be, an officer should write him a ticket then, and could write him a ticket. So
Boy.
it was a close call. It's good that he let it go, and it's good that he let him know before Seal got there. The fact is, he was possessing a fish illegally, and someone should have told him to let it go.
Oh, he would have said, hey, officer, come over here. Look at what I caught. I mean, he was so proud of that. I have a question, though. He let it go. We have all that documented. The trout just took right off back in the water alive. Did he still technically break the law?
Yes.
Or did, no, but he let it go. So he didn't permanently possess it
You don't have to permanently possess it. The fact is, he did break the law.
by putting it on a stringer.
He possessed a fish out of season. He knew it was lake trout. His fault was he didn't know the season was closed. Ignorance is no excuse to the law. He was possessing a fish out of season, therefore his act, unfortunately, was illegal.
So it would be sort of like going through a stop sign, backing up to re-stop. I mean, once you put it on the stringer. But the best thing to do, though, get rid of it.
Correct.
Don't you think that the officers would give a little leniency on that?
I would hope so.
Me too. And so does Chris.
Let's go.
That fish is gone.
It's gone.
It took right off.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you brought the book to me, I tell you, because I didn't know really. I was just as shocked as you were on that.
Well, you know, everybody said that this is the first time they've heard of a laker being caught. You guys leaving so soon?
Yeah, we've been here since 4. We're done. We got out here a little earlier.
4 a.m.? And what time were these caught?
About 6. We sat
Well,
there.
about 8.
Yeah.
6 and 8 probably.
Yeah, very good. Well, it was nice fishing with you guys.
Yeah, you too,
Good
Fred.
seeing you, Fred.
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
See you again.
Okay.
Off they go, successful anglers. Now it was time for us to learn some tricks of the trade from the old pros who hadn't left yet. Now, what about those swivel rigs with the 2-ounce sinkers?
Well, the reason we're using 2 swivels is because it is quite a walk down there to the parking lot, so we can take our weight off awful easy. With that bouncing around on the way down the parking lot, it really messes things up terrible. So if you can get your weight off your pole, we just use this, and then it does slide up and down your line real easy. So when the trout or whatever you're fishing for takes it, you'll be able to pull the line through there without even feeling the weight.
What are you using for bait here?
We caught a big hen steely yesterday, so we're tying up spawn bags. Same thing Chad's using, just floater bags.
We'll pull one out of there.
Sure. Okay, what I like to do is take where the spawn bag has been tied and just slip your hook right underneath that spot there. That's all there is to putting it on. And with your barb on the back, that'll keep your spawn bag from sliding off.
We're business?
Yes, we're ready. Guns are loaded.
Ron James from Richland is no stranger to steelhead fishing. He and his buddy Chad are regulars on this pier in March. They have the long steelhead rods that allow them to cast quite a distance. Now, Ron uses medium weight line and spinning reels. Chad Buck goes for the lightweight stuff. Every angler has his preference.
Okay.
It's an ultralight noodle rod, steelhead rod, St. Croix, 9-footer, little ultralight Shimano reel.
Now why?
It's more sensitivity, funner to catch the fish.
And you like light line?
Yeah, real light line. I think I get more bites on it, on light line, than I do on the heavier
Now
stuff.
some people would say you need heavier line.
Yeah, heavier line, but just play the fish. The fish will wear out. Good drag, good working rod. The fish is going to tire out. You'll land it.
What about the line rolling around on the bottom though?
That doesn't bother me. Just check your leader. If you got nicks in it, change it.
These 9-foot steelhead rods are nice because they do help in fighting fish. The long rod absorbs the shock of their running and jumping. But if you only have a 6-foot medium action rod like Matt and I brought, you know, your all-around rod, well, that's okay. You can catch fish on these just as well.
Yeah, he's on.
Here, somebody grab the mic.
Oh, he's right down there.
There we go.
Well,
Look at
right
a little
there.
brown trout. Is it?
Little.
By God, it is. Look at that little bugger.
Thanks a lot, man.
Pretty little thing, ain't he? Sure.
Thanks.
Sure,
happy
man.
we haven't got it.
Congratulations.
Didn't get skunked.
Well, you didn't have that spawn bag.
Hold it, I got some bad news. The season is closed on this, Matty. You got to throw that back. Well, Matt had caught a small steelhead trout. Steelhead are prized for their acrobatics, and even though it was in season and legal size, it was small for a steelhead. We were going to release it so it could grow up, but it was too late.
Dead. Belly up, dead.
One for the grill.
Yeah, it'll be a driller.
For the grill.
I just like letting that little steelhead go.
Yep. Well, we had good intentions. Well, catch and release fishing has its place, but there's nothing wrong with catch and fillet. I think every angler deserves to take at least one fish home.
Seems to be a small coho is what it feels like, but we'll know in a minute.
No, don't net them too fast, guys. Know in a second, you say?
Yes. That's the fun about fishing the pier is you never know what you're gonna. Yep, that's just what it is, though. Little coho.
Swing it up by the lens. All right, well, that's something.
Yeah, it's better than breaking your line.
Feel a little better about that, do you?
Yeah, that's number 4 for the day.
Is it really?
Yes.
The steelhead run larger, they hit harder. For the past half hour, we were getting lots of bites, but they weren't big fish. Probably it was those coho fiddling around with the bait.
Right. It's exactly what those are, just tapping at it. They seem to have been grabbing it and just busting the bag or spitting it right out immediately. That's why you see the end of your pole just twitch a little and then that's it. But this one, look at, he has inhaled that.
Yep, you're right.
He was a hungry one. Well, on the stringer that goes.
Well, coho and king salmon don't have much color to speak of. Steelhead do, especially if they're getting ready to spawn, but some look like the salmon.
Right here, you can see hasn't got quite the colors as this one. This one's about a year from spawn in here. This has no spawn in it at all. This one is full of spawn. This is a coho here. Chad over there has a couple of brown trout. Look at that one brown's a real fat football. That'll be some good eating.
Everybody has their favorite fish to eat. Ron and Chad like brown trout. I like the little coho. I suppose Chris Card likes lake trout, but he won't be able to take any home until May 1st. Well, pier fishing is fun. It takes a minimum of equipment, a big pile of warm clothes, and a laid-back attitude. It's fun to see other people catch fish, watch the ice melt, and think about those warm summer days ahead. I had intended for some time to use this show to show you what it was like at this time of year. Well, this time of year has certainly turned out to be different. But make sure that you know about the regulations. Check the fishing regulations. Make sure you have your license, because remember, April 1st, new fishing license required in Michigan. So get those things buttoned down. But I tell you, it's going to be, I think, a great spring. We're getting a good start into it. So get out and enjoy it. So enjoy yourself. I'll see you next week. Steelhead are prized for their acrobatics, and even though it was in season and legal size, it was small for a steelhead. We were going to release it so it could grow up, but it was too late.
Dead. Belly up, dead.
One for the grill.
Yeah, it'll be a griller.
For the grill.
I just like letting that little steelhead go.
Yep. Well, we had good intentions. Well, catch and release fishing has its place, but there's nothing wrong with catch and fillet. I think every angler deserves to take at least one fish home.
Seems to be a small coho is what it feels like, but we'll know in a minute.
No, don't net them too fast, guys. Know in a second, you say?
Yes. That's the fun about fishing the pier is you never know what you're gonna, yep, that's just what it is, though.